What are your struggles as a teacher of faith? I think it's a great question. I think teachers all have the same struggles managing administrative tasks, dealing with different personalities of students, whether you're talking on a discipleship level or academically. Dealing with problematic students. That dealing with even a curriculum and teaching subjects that you're not very good at is a normal struggle. But the struggles for particularly for like a Christian, a teacher of faith, is feeling muzzled spiritually. That can happen sometimes. Students from unsaved families and what they bring into the class, like for example, if you deal with youth especially, they're coming into educational settings, singing worldly songs, using worldly slang, saying things, not understanding the context of it sometimes. Even in public schools, it's the same stuff. Getting children or youth or adults even on their own accord to read a Bible, to worship, to pray. Uh, that's a general challenge for people, who are teachers of faith. This is a big one. Faith is publicly displayed in the Bible. It's not a private matter. And that includes doctrine wise. We obey God rather than man, but we use wisdom. Depending on if you teach in a secular public school, private school, student or youth program, or teach homework help, or like an after school program, or life mentoring in a community center, or homeschooling, or simply as a parent or an adult to any child in your life or young adult in your life. You have to again use wisdom on how and what you teach, but you should never compromise the truth of scripture or deviate from a biblical worldview. Sometimes people compromise to be more relatable to people. We should teach everything that the world does if possible, but after you first explain it through a Christian lens. And also it's important to compare it, in a well-balanced way. Let's have a non-biased approach and share what we believe as people of faith, and share everything else. Let people decide for themselves, right? We don't need to hide things. But we should let students determine truth by providing the evidence and apologetics and unfiltered, unpopular, unbiased, and often untold Christian historical narrative of things. The public school system from youth upwards to adult levels, academically often force atheism with stuff like evolution science, force conversations of faith to be excluded, don't leave room for open, candid conversation. And sadly, even in Christian schools, they can still have a curriculum, and if you deviate from it to lean more towards scripture with certain things versus traditions of men, it can be an issue. So you have to use wisdom. Choose what mountain you want to die on, so to speak. Universities, often like hospitals and public schools, originally started as Christian historically, but it's gone so far off track. But your struggles as a teacher of faith, really it's none. You have the Lord, you can overcome all things. It's just getting people to actually act out their own faith and choose for themselves truth and understand how to critically think, and for them to pass in their grades. The struggle of every teacher wants you to learn. The thing with teaching is not everyone is teaching sound doctrine, even in Christian school settings. You gotta be very careful, very wise. That's why you gotta read statements of faith if you're gonna go work at a Christian school. You should understand, it's going to be hard for you to be a charismatic believer teaching at a Baptist school, for example. You're going to have to filter some things, be wise in how you present some things. If you present things with wisdom, there's always a way to point to the truth and show the truth in an unbiased way. Just want to encourage those of you out there who are educators, and those of you out there who are in any educational capacity, academically or just church setting, dealing with young adults, youth, children, toddlers. Shalom.